Oh, it's on the... That's weird.
A chair.
A chair.
It makes my mic look super tiny.
What's in the face expression? Like, it makes my mic look tiny.
It's just a weird thing to do. It's
My
just a
mic's
weird.
that big. Like, that big.
Oh god.
The weird angle. I can't move mine. Mine's just stuck here.
Mine's kind of there as well. Are you ready for the Are you ready for the Beardy Bros podcast? Do you listen to things in your ears and your eyes? Well, guess what? We've got another episode for you! Oh, my eye! What's...
Yeah, my eyes!
Oh, something a little bit different we haven't done it for a little while, but what's up, Jim? How are you, man?
Oh, man. Not much. Just was watching my team get smashed in the footy.
Team
and
getting smashed?
Yeah.
So,
What about yourself, man?
I've just been sitting here, playing some games, working, getting myself all ready for this lovely podcast. Ready to share what we have again for another weekly episode of our Beardy Bros podcast. So yes, I know we had intro, but it is what it is. So yeah, like
intro cut in the intro.
Yeah, it's a double intro. So like I was saying, something that we haven't done for a while. How's your week been, man?
Yeah. Work stream.
Yeah, no, I feel you that a little bit.
Yeah.
I was gonna have a little special guest for tonight, but he's in bed. So, so what most people don't realise, we've talked about. I guess I've brought it up a couple of times in the podcast. Just a couple times. I think. I can't remember, but I did post up on the Instagram at least. I did post up there. We've got the little Maxwell that has joined the world, and he's going to be a future little beardy bro. Hopefully down the track. Who knows yet? Who knows?
Just hope he can grow a damn beard.
Well, I mean, I've got a beard, so presumably the genetics will pass on. Who knows?
I wouldn't say that.
It could skip.
It can be weird.
It could skip. He could get a patchy beard. Who knows?
Right? You don't want that.
But yes, so...
Do not want that.
So that's, I guess, the biggest thing that's happened for me this week. Yeah. Not much else has happened. It's been pretty cruisy, just playing games, streaming. But mainly the baby, that's the biggest thing this week, so...
Well, he's nearly a week old, so...
Basically, yeah, it was Monday he was brought into this world, so... Was it Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday.
I can't even remember my son's...
15, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't even remember my son's own birthday. It's just been crazy, just the whole lead up to it, and then here, and then having to do so much in the interim of trying to get everything organised and sorted still, and it's just like, oh my god, like, you know, it's a bit overwhelming, a bit crazy, but something to get used to all over again.
That was hot. Ow.
Your hot tea.
My hot tea. My positivity.
Is positivity. So you know, we've got an interesting episode, I guess. We've got a bit of news here. We've had a few announcements happen over the last couple of days. We had the awards as well for the BAFTA Game Awards, so we've got that to run through that. I completely didn't even realise half this stuff was going on. I was a bit out of it for a change, but I mean, easy excuses.
Always out of it. What do you mean?
So it's interesting.
I'm like, this happened. You're like, what? This happened. What?
None of it's in my recommended feeds anymore. I'm like, what's going on? What's been recommended to me? Nothing, apparently. So, it's just one of those things. But at least I caught up on it this afternoon and just ran through everything, and got a bit of details here and there, and we've got stuff to go through, and you've got your stuff, and we may have a little bit of crossover stuff, but we've got a little special thing for the end of the episode as well.
I mean, probably not, because I've got nothing what you've written down, because you've already grabbed it, so...
So yeah, so there was a few things we went through, so No, and then we got a little, like I said, we got a little special new try of something at the end of the episode if you stick around for that. So hopefully you get a little
Well,
experience what we could be bringing to the.
mainly watching. If you're listening, I
Yeah.
mean, you can still listen. If you
Still listen. We'll put it at the end of the episode. So if you're listening to the podcast, of course, we want to try and leave it in an audio format, possibly. It's something new we want to try. So we don't know whether to leave it part of the podcast, maybe make them separate to the podcast, so they're not so taken up all the time. So this is just we keep this to that hour and a half like formula. Less. It's something new we want to try. So we mentioned trying new things. So we want to try it tonight at least. So, depending on when you watch it, we're saying tonight, you could be watching it. It doesn't really matter. It's
in the future.
in the future, in the past. In the past for us, in the future for you.
Are we in the past?
We're going for the future every time, step forward.
No, but are we doing this in the past for the future?
Well, that's exactly it.
Cool.
So, I've got a couple of little announcements here that I saw going through the news. I guess not really announcement. The only thing that was interesting, that was kind of an announcement, is I don't know if you saw it, but it was Thymesia.
The hell is that?
It's a new game that's come out. Not come out. It's not coming out. It's coming out December 31st. So end of the year.
That's a long way away.
But it's basically they've basically gone. All the developers have gone. Hey, you see those Souls game? They seem pretty good. Should we maybe yes? It's just like yes. It's like should we do it? Yes. It's like so you like yes. It's like should we do anything that's related? Yes. It's just everything. It's just a big Souls game. And it's gone. Let's just grab everything that they do and do that kind of genre of game and make that. So it looks pretty interesting. But yeah, it's coming out end of the year, and I was like, oh, I wonder if you heard anything of that. So glasses won't sit. And that's the problem with headsets.
Yeah, they just slide down and cover your eyes like.
Yeah,
they slide down a bit.
It's always the way. So that's why I thought I'd bring that up if you'd seen that at all. But it sounds like you have not seen any of that.
I have not.
So yes, it's a Souls game, and that's.
Was that the Xbox event or the other thing?
No, it's just general event in general. General.
Seen it. General.
From what I gathered, so I was like, oh, that's interesting. Another, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more of that kind of genre of games slowly start appearing more and more, because we've had other games that kind of try to be like that a little bit. Like we've had like Jedi, it was kind of a little bit like Souls-esque a bit. It's kind of going that way almost.
I mean,
like
it
that
worked.
So, but then there's specifically that genre specifically we will start seeing more of. I feel, going into the future, I reckon that's a big market, because it's just that open. Everyone likes their RPGs to a degree, and I guess this is the new RPG recipe, I guess. So, all we do is really wait and see what happens, but I figure that's where it's going, so.
I mean, Fallen Order's only Souls-like when you die and everything resets. Like in Dark Souls.
Well, you have your hordes of players to a degree.
Come back, and like everything's put back in the exact same spot.
Like the Souls elements, so.
Yeah.
So there's a few games that'll be, I guess, dabbling into that idea of how to incorporate those elements into games, but there's games that are, like I said, specifically going to start doing that, I feel, more and more, definitely.
Yeah.
Since we've had,
I'm keen to see what it is then. What's it called?
It's Thymesia. Thymesia?
I've seen that. I thought it was just something stupid.
Yeah, so it's a Souls game, so I've
never heard of it.
It's a weird name to pronounce. I can't think of how to pronounce. I've never. Thymesia? I don't know. Messiah is 2 S's, so I don't know. It's an interesting one. The character looked like a plague doctor in the photo when I was looking at it, so I was like, okay. Plague doctor. Just plague doctor. Campfire.
If I had campfires, I'm done.
It's just straight up copied as campfire.
Like, what did Fallen Order have? That was just a
little meditate. It had its little meditate stations, which is kind of like almost like campfires. Like you go in and you meditate, and it would like reset everything when you meditated. So, and when you died, you respawn at the campfires at the meditation spots. So, it was kind of the same. It was like.
Yeah, because I was always, when I was playing, I was like, please get to the next checkpoint. Please get to the next checkpoint.
And if we especially see, like, another Fallen Order, like, How much
Well,
more
there's
will
a
it delve
sequel
in?
coming, so
Like, how much more will it delve into that whole kind of Soulsy-esque gameplay? Will it go more that way? Will it change? Like, it'd be interesting.
probably the bigger boss fights, I guess.
Mm.
Like, because in like just say Demon Souls, Dark Souls, the bosses are big and they're like very slow. Some are quick, some are poison. Maybe in that vein, like they just
Yeah.
got different elements. They got the poison, they got the ice.
That would be
I
cool. That
mean,
would be cool.
it would, but it just depends. Like, there's not many big Star Wars things, like big enemies, like big creatures.
Mm.
Except for that, what was it? A bird thing? That big flying
Oh,
thing?
yeah, that interesting little...
Like something that size as a boss would be dope.
That's exactly
But
it, so...
who
Who knows? Who
this,
knows?
this game is probably a while off. So.
That's exactly with a lot of games coming and going and studios working on all different kinds of things. We know, who knows the timestamps of when we're actually going to get stuff, so... Oh, your beard wobbles. Ooh. It's a jelly beard.
It's got that friggin' pomade in it.
Makes
It
it
just goes back to the same spot.
a bit puffy, like poof. Bloody flies, man. Oh god, my screen's glitching out there.
What was it? Quicker, what the hell?
It's like a horror movie. It's like a little horror movie going on here, like how it
Like the
flickers.
evil inside for a
It's like
second,
how it flickers, like things are flickering and it's like freaking out. It's like horror film like stuff going on. I know, as always, if you're watching, we much appreciate if you're sticking through the video. If you're listening, as always, to the podcast, which we seem to be growing a little bit more and more through the audio, which is good. Much appreciate that to more regular listeners on the audio podcast. Jim's got to readjust himself. If you're missing out, he's got his nice, cleanly shaven head.
Yes, and a fuck ton of blood.
Too many times scraping his head.
something.
Oh man.
I did something. I was just like, eh.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh god. So yeah, no, muchly appreciated as always. I'd like to thank everyone as always. I don't want to forget our fans that are the ones these ones that keeps us going, I guess, to a degree, We still love doing this for our own pleasure, but
Oh hell yeah.
I love, like, as always, like we always say, we always look forward to the podcast. I'm like Saturday routine is podcast, like nothing.
I'm actually keen on Sunday usually.
Mm.
Like the day after, I'm like,
Pod day blues. Post
cod.
pod blues.
The post cod blues. I mean,
Post-
those are a thing too. You finish the cod game, like, oh, I want the next one now.
Turn that back on.
But
My
I mean,
channel.
I've got a bit of cod news to cover very soon.
Well, I'll mention this thing before we go on to that then. So Outriders is dropping soon.
On the first.
On the first, yeah. So I knew it was soon. I just couldn't remember. So people can fly. Wow.
What is happening, Des? How many of you drink?
I'm on my second drink. It's just the people can fly. Have put a little statement out recently, talking about cheaters and hackers.
Oh,
So you haven't heard about that?
I've seen the word cheats on an Outrider dude's head.
So basically, what they're talking about is anyone that's found to be cheating in the game, they're not going to fully punish them because you can't really stop people from playing a game per se. But if people are found to be cheating and hacking, they're basically going to have a permanent watermark over their game that says they're a cheater. So I don't know if it's just to them or if it's to like other people can see it as well, but if it's just over the character, or if it's just their screen in general. But basically, if they're detected cheating certain aspects of stuff, like there'll be a cheater over their screen. So if they try to, like, I guess even live stream their game, capture their gameplay, it'll have cheater over their screen. So then, like, you would know who's a cheater and who's not by like their streams. So it'd be kind of funny.
Fuck, that'd be embarrassing.
Right? Just having cheater.
Games like cheater.
But like also as well, what they're also doing is people that are found to be also cheating not just get the watermark, but they're going to be placed in lobbies, I guess, that are the same. So cheaters are going to be put into lobbies with other cheaters.
So like COD, like the
yeah, so you're not
thing and...
finding, like, so they're not being matched up with responsible players, like, you know, so they're not being affected, so they're going to be pushed into a different category, kind of to a point found like have it so it's harder for them to find matches as well. So it's like to punish them. It's like, well, you know, you're cheating to try and get an advantage. You shouldn't be doing that. Like, play the game basically. Right. So, I mean, there wasn't many. Like they stated that out of from the demo that went out, they had 2 million players, and out of the 2 million players, they only found 200 players to be cheating and hacking. That's just very minute. But I guess that's still people doing that, and if they continue on to the full release, you don't really want people affecting it.
What do you need? It's not a. Is it a PvP thing?
I think there might be some PvP elements, but it's basically apparently there's a lot of bots out there now that have got trainers and stuff, so you can level up your characters where like they're doing all the work for them. So they're making it like it's like that takes the fun out of it. That's the whole point, is to level up and do stuff.
How do they make it so quick?
That's what gets me too. Is like people are onto it, like boom, onto it, like it's
like. Why do people play a game? You're just gonna hack it. Why do you spend the money on it to play it in the first place if you're just gonna use a bot?
And that's what gets me too. Is like if you for Fortnite, like if you to buy skins and like, but not buy skins, but like buy the battle pass. Like, what's the point of playing the game if you're gonna buy all the, there's games. Your purpose to play the game is to earn and learn, like and feel awarded. You're
streaming it, and then you're using the items in stream.
Yeah. But that just feels like you want to feel awarded when you go.
You're playing it
like, you're going to unlock it by playing it. Like, you're going to unlock it anyway by playing. Like,
we wouldn't buy all 70 tiers. Like,
and if you're streaming it, you're playing it, you're streaming it, you're going to level up anyway. Like, you're doing the work anyway. Like, you could have just earned the stuff as you played. It doesn't get me when people do stuff like that.
It's hard to explain. Like, you pay, just say, the equivalent here, like $100 a game. Like, you pay that just to sit there and use a bot. Like,
it's just ridiculous.
And go, I'm so good. My bot's doing everything for me. Big hero.
It's a bit whack. So I don't get with a lot of these cheaters. Like, what are they getting out of it at the end of the day? Because it's like, you're not. What's the point of playing the game? Like, what's the point of getting the game and playing the game? Like, what if you're just gonna hack and cheat and be like, oh, I gotta, but like, why? It's not fun. Like, you might think it's fun, but it's not. Like,
no.
It's unless you're like specifically going into a modded server. Like, if you're playing GTA and you're on a modded server, and
but still,
that's a different perspective because you're unlocking all the cars. Like, because I was watching friends play some modded GTA, and they're just like flicking up cars, and they can just do extra customizations that you couldn't get in the game, which that makes sense because they're doing racing and like kind of like doing car shows and stuff. Like, that kind of makes sense because a different perspective.
So like us and Bucker's mod. Much.
It's just like cosmetics and just like fun. Like, that's okay. Like, that's people enjoying themselves and trying to actually like have fun and change up a game to do different things.
Not be like win, like you're a bot to win.
Like, half the modders that we've seen in GTA that just like get $1 billion, like somehow just hack all the money into the game just to be like, what? So you can get all the cool stuff. It's like, then what's the point of even playing the game? You're just skipping everything, all the substance. It's just like it's
one of them things where if you do
it's never going to leave. It's never going to leave. It's going to always keep happening.
I mean, eventually devs will patch it out. Like, they'll patch stuff so you can't actually hack. So,
well, like the good old days.
Have done it now.
I'll say the good old days. If you remember, Batman Arkham Knight. If you like ripped the game and didn't buy it like legally, if you pirated the game, Batman had an iron cape and he couldn't walk anywhere. It knew that it wasn't a legit version. You'd be like, huh! And you'd be stuck at the start of the game and you couldn't do anything. You'd just be stuck there. You'd like try and move and you couldn't move. So
I mean, that's what games need to do. If you've hacked the game in any way, make sure your character can't walk, you can't jump, you can't
really penalise the player.
Don't ban them necessarily, but just make they can't play it. Until they get rid of the mod or the hacks or like in COD, people hack. Just make sure they can't fire their gun. Just
I guess they fire. I guess they might find a way around it with the mods. That's maybe why they haven't been able to successfully get through it.
Well, they'd make it not jump or run or anything
like exactly. Like, make them super slow or something. Make them heavier, so then they can do all the cool things. But if they're heavy, like it's not going to mean anything.
Can't get out of the way of a firefight. Are you going to be like, wait a second?
I'm super heavy, or everything's slow mo. But
Oh, why is he in slow motion? Hacker.
But some of the mods that they've had in, like, they're just ridiculous, where they've had, like, the no clips, like, auto bots, where they can just shoot through, like, walls and everything. Just like, boom, boom, like,
and just stand there and just shoot.
Like, what's the fun of that? It's like you spawn in, have auto click just to shoot through everything. But everyone's dead. It's just like, but why? How is that fun? It's like, oh, my bot's super quick at killing all 99 players. Like, but it's confusing. I don't know how people find that satisfying. And, like, that's not satisfying in any retrospect at all. Like, it's not entertaining for anyone to watch. It's not, like, it's not content, like, because you're not filming it. Like, there's nothing to it. Like, why?
I mean, they do film it though. That's the thing. They film it and they get caught.
Yeah, but that's exactly, they film it. But then people are like, this is stupid. Like, it's not fun to watch. Like, it's boring content.
People
like,
encourage it though, because it's fun to watch. Apparently, like,
I don't know how it's fun to watch. Like,
other hackers, I guess.
It's
and you see the description, links how to hack this, like links how to do this. I'm like, why would you tell people?
But, like, why do we need it? Like, why do we want it? Like, and then you're gonna end up having,
come from?
Like, it's just weird, because then it's like you have more people in the servers, and then you have, like, aimbots fighting aimbots, and then, like, seeing it'll be like, so you can shoot through the walls quicker at each other. It's like target, you know.
I actually want to see that. So he actually wins out of like a battle royale where everyone's got aimbot
and just auto click. Yeah, see who survives. Like, if there's something like that,
I
would find
a good idea.
That would be entertaining, because it's every player has aimbot and everyone's fighting to see who can shoot the quickest off. Like, then it's like who would survive at the end. That would be entertaining, because then everyone's on a same playing field. But when it's just sane playing field, a sane playing field,
an even playing field, not a plain playing field.
Same playing field. Even
playing.
Same. Say it.
No,
same. Same playing.
A same playing field.
But
this
yeah,
is crazy already.
We're having fun, so as always, we're having a blast. It's what it is.
Don't take us too seriously.
No, never take it seriously.
Looking at you, man.
Looking at you. Who are you looking at? Yourself?
I'm looking at the camera.
Looking at the camera, just people like, again, as always, listening to the audio, like, what is going on? Watch the video and you'll get all the context. We know not everyone can watch the video. We know people have to work, so they're not allowed to watch the video. Unfortunately for them, one or two of them, they can't watch us at work. They gotta listen to us. Pinch your cheeks. Pinchy.
Ever since I've seen him do that, it's like.
Oh, it's just fucking hilarious every time someone gives him a follow. A pinchy. He goes, he can talk, he goes, oh, that's right. A pinchy cheeks, Oh yeah, my finger.
That's nearly as good as my welcome.
Welcome to the Sauce Community. What was the COD thing you had? Did you have COD?
COD thing? Oh yes. It's been leaked, kind of like leaked that COD 2021 is done by Sledgehammer, and it's World War II Vanguard.
World War II Vanguard.
So didn't they do World War II like the other game?
Cold War.
Yeah. No, World War II.
Yeah, they did World War II, and then Cold War.
I think they're doing a follow-up to that.
Oh, yep. Makes sense.
Which the thing was, it said they could have been set in an alternate World War II, which where Hitler won. I'm like, ooh.
That's heading towards like Wolfenstein, kind of.
Yeah, like it was. They called it like Wolfencod or something.
Well, that'd be interesting to see, like how they like their take on a alternate reality.
That's what it could have been. So I mean,
if they do that or not,
I guess
depends on what they're looking at doing, because it could be a continuation. It could be a whole new, like, say, different universe.
But then it counteracts the first one. Like that was so serious. Like it was so like what would have happened back then. But then if they spin this one into Hitler's like he's won. It's set in 1945. And Hitler's won. I was like, how would that look? Not like Wolfenstein. That's all super technology and
yeah,
that's a high tech 1940s and 50s and whatever else. Well, in World War II, like it's just the bare basics.
It'd be interesting to see. I'm keep my eyes on that one.
I mean, it should be a reveal soon. Like, they should reveal COD between now and June. They have a trailer. which the way Black Ops is, no one's playing it, and we need a new one
Yeah.
now.
It,
I hope
like,
this is built with the Modern Warfare engine. That'll be dope.
well, that would be interesting.
I
See
mean,
which
what
one they go with.
engine did they use for World War II? Because that game looked great as well. Like
I can't remember now.
it wasn't the Treyarch cartoony thing. It was more real, just like
Well,
Modern Warfare.
yeah, it comes down to the effects they have. Style effect.
I just hope it's a next gen only thing. Like, don't hold it back.
Well, that's all you can really do now is work forwards, like do something decent.
Like, because then you're fine, so you can play it on PC. But like, just bring it forwards.
They need to move forwards. You can't keep holding on to the past and working on past software. Like, you need to just...
I mean, you can for first-party games, because a lot of people still have PS4s, Xbox Ones, but the third parties can just stick to new stuff, because they're usually being held back. Like Cyberpunk, that ran like shit. Avengers,
on older engines, yeah. If they just stuck to newer engines, it would have been a lot better for them across the board.
Right,
that's exactly it. So,
who knows? I hope they use a whole new engine.
Be interesting to see what they go with. That's all we can really do is just keep our eyes open and see what happens. So,
yeah, but they were meant to have this game last year instead of Cold War.
Okay.
Because remember, Sledgehammer, it was their turn to do the game.
Well,
but they've been making this in the last year.
Well, Sledgehammer worked on the Cold War as well.
Yeah, but like that was ultimately done by Treyarch.
It was Raven. I think it was Raven as well.
Yeah, but it was mostly Treyarch and Raven and Beanox, I think.
Everyone kind of did their little parts as always because they all.
Sledgehammer. It's usually them and Beanox. I mean, Raven helps everyone, like even Infinity Ward, but like that game, if they got taken off Cold War like a couple of years ago, that is not long in development.
Yeah.
They must have had that future idea and brought it forwards. And
all we can do is really wait and see what happens. So,
I'm keen. I want another World War II. I mean, the alternate universe one would be dope.
That would be cool. We need more kind of alternate reality, like what would have happened if this didn't happen in this war kind of thing. I reckon that's what we need to start seeing, is people create, not just going off history and like kind of relearning history in a sense, because they're still kind of not really sticking to the truth of history. They're kind of close to.
History in there at points.
But it'd be cool
you can
to do
your own thing with it.
Then that'd be cool to do alternate reality stuff. So if any of the wars that we've had or that could have happened, like if we had a thing, what would happen if this war did happen? You know, make a game based around that. Like if this, you know, if World War III ended up happening because of this certain situation that happened, then let's see how that arc would go. You know, it'd be cool to see different. You know, what ifs, like more what if games.
Modern Warfare is World War III. Like Modern Warfare is pretty much the modern like war.
Yeah.
So
that's what would have happened, kind of thing, or could have happened if the sense of, yeah. So we need more of that.
Man, did you play Modern Warfare? Did you do the campaign?
Yeah, I've done all of them.
Those going dark missions, man.
Oh, so good, so good.
That's probably one of the best COD of any COD game ever. Is when you're going through their houses and just like all stealth, like got your night vision. Oh,
they were really good.
Where one bullet can end you, it's like you got to be quick.
Yeah, you got to be very smart. That'd be cool if they had like more games like that. Oh.
Well, I mean, squad, armor.
But imagine if COD did something like that more direct, like those story missions where you're more like that, but like they're objective missions. I kind of want
guns to have more recoil, more realness instead of just point and shoot. Like, come on. I mean, I get COD's an arcade shooter, but like, give us bullet distance, like not just bang dead, bang dead.
Yeah, yeah. Some more thought.
Yeah, like just. I get they're only made quickly though, like in 3 years. A game's only in 3 years, but
yeah.
But still, give us something new. Change it up, like Advanced Warfare. That was way different back then.
Oh. Little guest, look at him. Felix. I just saw this black moving, and I was like, "What's going on there?" I was like, "Oh, it's Felix." But yeah,
crazy cat. I would pick him up, but he might get out.
have a Switzer. But here's another. Here's a lovely one. Looking at the date where we're at, so it's the 27th of March, right?
Yes.
So we've only got what 4 days left of March.
3.
28. So 30. So 4 days. 4 days.
Oh.
So today's okay. So you think about it. Today has been basically Saturday for us. It's Friday. Basically, well, now Saturday the rest of the world. Hello, Felix. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing there? So you think about Saturday, tomorrow Sunday. That's another day. Another day.
Oh my god.
Another day gone. So my point getting here. Then we'll have Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, which is the last technically 3 working days. Well, actually, no. If you think about it, because the days will be a bit late. Okay, so think about it. There's only a few days left of March. Something was promised to be released in the second half of March.
Which is meant to be a couple of days ago.
We have not seen anything. And there's now 4 days left, and we have not seen patch 1.2 for Cyberpunk 2077.
Maybe on the 31st? That would probably squeeze it in there.
They've always had their updates and patches were always on a Thursday, Friday-ish kind of date. They're always the same time. They push back their issue to the second half. Now that there's only 4 days left of March, this is really the end of the second half of March. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Like, they've already laxed on the promise of being like, hey, it was stated for February. Then they had the tomorrow, no, someone stole our whole property. And then they've like, we're gonna delay it. Sorry, we're having a delay because of these things, and apparently it's in its testing phases. I'm like, shouldn't that have already been?
Did they say testing?
Apparently, there's some. I read an article from today that it's now in its final testing phases for the patch.
So it could be the next week, maybe.
So it's just like so much. Like we'll have to wait and see if it actually comes out in March still. March, April 1st is
Thursday. It's the 1st.
Yeah.
So they've still pretty much got till Thursday.
Well, if it's Friday for us, it'll be Thursday, which will be then April. So if it comes to Friday, our day, next Friday, then that means that's officially April, and that means they've skipped March altogether, and it comes out in April. So,
I hope not, because
CD Projekt Red, this is up to you guys, and news are looking pretty bad now. This is getting kind of, I don't know what your problem is.
It's not the dev's fault, so.
Whatever's going on, whatever the problem is, I don't know what they're doing, but there's a fly in my beer. Get the fuck out of it.
I just feel bad for the devs because they had the reputation up here.
Yep.
Now it's
alone.
All because of the higher ups who are just like,
and they're saying it's supposed to be a pretty big patch, but why make it such a big patch? Like they're going on, it's such a big patch, it's going to do so much work. But then they only focus on the most smallest, shittiest things. Oh, we fixed the cops, we fixed the steering, we've done this. Like, wouldn't you put in more juicy things to be put, like, to actually encourage people? Like, be like, oh, okay, the patch is actually going to do something, not just like pin off like, I've got a piece of paper, I've got a pen, I've got an apple, pen, pineapple, apple, pen, like.
What? Yeah, but they can't exactly fix the graphics.
No, but it's not graphics, but like there's a lot of broken stuff in the game, like actual broken stuff in the game.
Like your mission.
Like plenty of the missions are still broken. There's a lot of stuff going on that's happening where things are popping in and out. Like you should be able to fix the popping in and out issues, like the entering of buildings, like the.
I reckon they finished it though. It's probably in certification with Microsoft and Sony.
Like, it's just.
Because that can take weeks.
That's exactly it, but like they're just promising all these things now, and it's just getting to the point where it's just getting a bit ridiculous. And I'm just like, really, like, I'm all for it, and I was understandable, but then they just keep delaying and pushing and delaying and pushing and delaying and pushing, and And like I said, and then just to announce off things that are just the most pettiest things, be like just headlined, made this whole headline of what they're doing for the for the patch, but then they only skimmed over the most pettiest basic things. I really don't care about the cops. I don't even piss off the cops half the time to really experience their problems. I've driven cars and bikes a million times, and I've never really okay, yeah, it's a bit dodgy, but I spend more of my time riding bikes and cars to really have a problem with the steering.
Bikes are bad still.
Like the steering's, yeah, they're a bit janky, but like I spend more times riding my bike than have to worry about driving, which is driving in cars is more janky than riding a bike. And it's like I don't care about these things because they're the most minute real issue. They're an issue, but they're the most minute issues.
Pretty big. That's most of the game is driving.
Oh, I run everywhere, and if I do drive, it's like it never really bothered me. I've dealt with the driving. It's not a big issue. It's very minute overall.
True, but I mean,
I've played. Yeah. That's just
as we always said, they shouldn't have released it for last gen. That's
exactly it. Like they promised way too much. If they were to release it for last gen, it should just been last gen only. It should have been built for last gen. But if they wanted to go out there and on that, then it should have only been for next gen, not both.
Yeah, but
you
it's
can't
not built
have
for
both.
Next gen either.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They should have focused more towards that. Like it's either one or the other, not two. You can't have all.
Because I'm playing the PS4 Pro version on the PS5. Like mine's janky still. Like
you can't go to you can't go to a restaurant and order a meal that's catered to be all meals in one. You can't be like, I want a dish that's a bit of breakfast, a bit of lunch, a bit of dinner, and dessert all in the one. Like you can't have that. That doesn't work. It's either going to be dinner and that's it. It's just going to be classified as dinner, or it's going to be classified as lunch. Like you can't have a dish that's all. So it's the same thing with this game. It's like you can't be like, we want it on all platforms, which they wanted. And clearly you can see what's happened to it. And then you look at Halo, they wanted to have it on basically all mediums of the Xbox. And you see what's happening to that. Like, you can't have everything. You need to be one or the other, not all. And I think that's the problem they need to start realising is,
Other than bugs, Halo was worse than Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's like mission bugs and stuff
we got to experience Cyberpunk's problems. I mean, at least Halo's gone okay. We were going to release something. We know what the issues. We're scrapping it back.
That's because they showed what was going to happen because they showed the real thing.
Yeah, they showed gameplay.
Cyberpunk higher-ups sent out pre-rendered PC gameplay, which looked perfectly fine.
And
just. I mean, I'm quite sick of Cyberpunk now.
There's so much missing. There's so much missing for I still like Cyberpunk. I like the aesthetics. I like the vibe. Like I bought everything. Like I've got a lot of the merch. I like the aesthetic. I like the atmosphere. I like the idea. But the game just needs to be.
But you want to play it now, not a year later.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I want to finish playing it and stick with it. Like I've basically benchmarked it because
you'd be like Cyberpunk. Oh.
Too many games because I'm going to lose track of what I was doing in the story, and I really don't want to be starting from scratch once everything's started because I've already vested 70 hours into the game, 80 hours. What happened?
Flash.
Savior of the universe.
Like I mean, I reckon as soon as I've platinumed it, I'm just going to uninstall it.
Yeah. I've been contemplating it multiple times because it's just sitting there, and I'm like, am I ever going to get
120 gig, which is just I need that for other games to play.
For what it's offering as well, it's like, why is it that big? For I feel what it's offering, it doesn't feel like half of it's even there. It's just
considering Resident Evil 7, 27 gig. I mean 27 gig. That game's going to be huge.
And the quality of it, what it looks like it's going to be, is pretty insane as well. So.
Yeah, those graphics in that maiden demo. Oh.
Like it's really putting a standard. It's putting a standard on developers, like what they're putting in and what they're playing. My shirt looks really weird. Does it look like my shirt's fake? I've just noticed. I'm just looking at it, and like the blue, it's like a weird blue edging looking shirt, and it looks like it's like Photoshop, like I'm clipped in. It looks like I'm photoshopped in. Like this isn't actually. I'm not in my room. It looks like I'm green screened in. Look at it. I look like I'm green screened in. Do I look like I'm green screened in my room right now?
Kind of, yeah, from the head down.
Like it doesn't look like I'm in my room. Like I can sit here like this and swivel, but it looks like I'm green screened into my room.
Yeah, because mine looks like I'm in the. What the fuck? Yours is like you're very out of it, like just how I cropped here looks like I'm green screening. Like my background's a flat background, and I don't look. I just noticed that. This is weird. Maybe it's just the color of the t-shirt.
The color of the shirt and the camera, because if I turn, the colouring...
They look normal there, but when you're front on, I was like, what?
Like, that looks...
That's normal, but when
I'm sitting there like this... Normal! Look, everything's here, like, everything's here. Look, that's a box. There's my 3D printer. This is all real. Imagine doing something like this and be like, haha, and then just go click, and it's like a green screen behind me. Like, and it's like the sheet, and I go, and all this was on the green screen. Like, here I am touching it, like, and like I grabbed the bottle from the desk, like that. But then the green screen's like right here. How trippy would that be?
The word.
That'd be cool to be able to do something like that. Oh man, that'd be so good. It's like ta-da, magic.
I never noticed it until you said it.
Yeah,
like,
it just looks weird. It's like
you were just normal. It's just the colours, I think.
It's like it's black, but it's coming off like a navy looking colour. Maybe it's navy.
Welcome to Old Navy.
Maybe it's a navy. I don't know. It's weird. I'm tripped out. That's weird.
I just make me notice that.
I know it looks weird because I just noticed it more because my beard's more defined against the colouring of my shirt. And then the edgings is like it looks like there's a green edging.
Oh, one side blends in with the
because of the light.
Yeah. It's like a little goat.
It's so weird.
You got a goatee.
I need to trim back my beard so that I can let it regrow out altogether, like shave it back, give it a little buzz cut.
It looks like you've had a goatee and it just sort of just grow out the sides.
Like that's what I mean. That's what I need it to all regrow back together. I need to give it a nice little shave back and let it all grow out together.
Like just cut that off, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, well, I have done that a few couple of times where I had just shaved that off and let that grow, and that's why it looks I think out of place now because this kept growing, and then I let that grow out and then I trimmed that back.
You know what you can do though?
What?
Just get like a tie and just. This pomade's so good. It just do that and it goes back to normal.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe that's what I need for my beard to make it look all nice. Maybe to make it even.
I'm thinking about cutting, bringing all that down into like one.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
So I might trim back my beard back to a short beard. Ooh.
And then put the paint. And...
I don't know if a big bushy beard really suits me. Well, the big bushy beard suits you. I'm wondering.
He's the imposter.
I'm the imposter. I was not there at all. I've been other Jim all along.
You've been the Jim of the Rimmer.
So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty whack. We've got some BAFTA news. We've got some Game Pass announcements. What other stuff have you got before we go on to the other?
I've got a few things, but have you heard of the game Last Oasis?
Last Oasis.
Yeah.
Have
you got that written down? Well, it's a survival game on Steam for the last 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's out on Xbox right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about PlayStation though.
Okay.
I've never seen a word on that. Only the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So that's now out. Could be in-game preview. That's why.
Okay.
So it's still on preview on PC.
Yep.
Also, Green Hell comes out on PS4 and Xbox June. Just says June. That's in that month. They're doing a Cyberpunk.
June.
It's gonna be out in March. In the March.
Yeah, it's like you're getting close to the end of the March. Like
I forgot about that too. You brought it up.
I'm keeping on to Cyberpunk. I'm keeping on to this. I'm staying on their asses. Like we've talked about them enough that I'm sticking on their asses now and make sure like.
Well, they used to be on time with everything. Like The Witcher, everything was on time, or even before time.
There's just so much going on. Like I feel like I need to get bored up and just pin the board and be like, this is what here, this is what happened here, who's doing this here, and then see what's going. Because it just seems like things are happening. Like I said, and ever since that, like little things have been happening that seem to be throwing themselves, and then just that whole hack situation they had seems like that's really put them on my radar, and I want to see if they try and play any other tricks, any other things.
Considering we don't know who had it,
and that's just stopped. That's just done. Like no one's had anything. No one's had anything. Like that's some decent information. Like we don't. No one's. It's all kept up.
Leaked anything.
Yeah, it's all covered up and it's all moved on. It's like that's a bit. Like, I know they'll want to wait a while, they won't do anything quick, but that's the other thing too, is like, I want to keep on this and keep it fresh in the mind, so that if anything does pop up, then we know, what's happening and what's going on, we can kind of see how long it's taken, and...
But that's the thing, if they didn't pay, they're going to leak stuff. They didn't pay.
Someone bought it though.
Yeah, but they haven't leaked nothing. Were they just sitting on it on their computer? Like,
So we don't know if they didn't pay, but didn't one of them buy it. Like we don't know if they bought it back,
no, but
pretending to be cheap. You know.
oh, true. Yeah, but I don't think they would have just said, "Oh, we just bought it back." Ha ha ha.
But you know, who knows? Like, it's.
I kind of just. I wish it was Cyberpunk came out this year. That's all I'm saying on it.
If they just let it cook a little bit longer,
Could have waited till the end of this year.
they could exactly.
Well, that's
But
what they're hoping for. Like they said, 2021, but
because people kept being, oh, we want it in there. Look, it's the people's fault. Like I didn't demand. I was happily able to wait for it to come out later. But people
Yeah.
are like, oh, yeah. And then it came out, and they're like, oh, it's like, well, you know. But now they got to live up to these promises, and it's just interesting what's going on. So it's kind of an interesting journey that I want to keep track of. So.
I mean, I finished it. I finished it pretty quick. 4 times. But
4 times.
3.
From start to finish.
Yeah. Not start to finish, but I finished it. All the endings. What are you doing? But I mean, Green Hell. I've not played it. We've been thinking about grabbing it though, but it looks good. Like in the jungle,
Interesting, yeah.
surviving. Kind of like the forest, but not. An interesting collab is Siege and Resident Evil, which is weird.
That
Like
is
Rainbow
interesting.
Six Siege and Resident Evil.
That's
Have you not seen it?
no.
You know, you call yourself games media.
I just call myself.
You're as bad as sub.
I just call myself media.
Hey media.
Hi, hi, Jim. Welcome to the show. I'm media. Happy to be here.
Media.
I'm media. Happy to be here.
Mediocre.
I would find Jim.
The other gym.
No, I Jim.
Also, I mean, you told me about this, man. I may have seen it though, but Ghost of Tsushima movie being headed by John Wick and the Matrix director Chad. Someone.
So, are we expecting Keanu Reeves to make a cameo in the movie?
Keanu Reeves as Jin.
Oh, be careful there! Don't get him. We'll get some too much risky on that one.
Oh, isn't Keanu Reeves like part Asian though?
Yeah, but you know, people be like, "Oh, they're whitewashing the movie."
Whitewashing. He'd be a wicked samurai.
Oh, he would be. Dude, have you seen that 47 Ronin?
Oh yeah, I thought that was Tom Cruise for a second.
No, that's the Last Samurai.
Yeah, that.
47 Ronin was so good with Keanu Reeves. So
Right?
good. But he actually
I
played.
saw like
Yeah.
30 minutes of it.
Oh, dude,
But,
some movie. It's so good. Such a really good movie.
He could play Jin, like,
I mean, I'd be down for that, but
or even the Jin's father. He could even do that because he's older, but chucks a bit of grey in him, and he'd be suiting that part too.
but it'd be
That's it.
interesting.
Chad Stahelski. Stahelski.
Stahelski.
Stahelski. I don't know. Keanu Reeves as Mr.
Someone.
Mr. Sakai. Do it.
But I reckon being that's John Wick produce
John Wick and Matrix.
Matrix
director.
produce kind of or directors. It's kind of interesting. Like I feel like they love working with Keanu Reeves, so I wouldn't be surprised he may have a little role, maybe a big role.
I mean, it would be a big role.
It'd be
Which would be
interesting to
pretty
see.
cool.
It'd be interesting to see what happens and who they get
Is it
casted
in
for it.
development though, or is it just being talked about now?
I'm not too sure, but they're pretty solid on it.
Well, who's playing Jin? You need someone who is convincing to be Jin because
There's no slated anything yet, but they're just like on the books. So.
you can't put any dude as him.
Mm.
If he's the main dude, like he's the main character.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Who knows? I mean,
Interesting to see.
I keep my eye on it because I love the game.
It'd be interesting to see what they
We
definitely.
don't need a movie though. The game is a movie.
So whether it be like based off, like I guess if it's a retelling, if it's a prequel,
All right, could be that.
could it be something that's just set in the universe? Like,
Yeah, it wouldn't be called Ghost of Tsushima though.
well, it's, I guess who knows? Like,
Unless there's another Ghost of Tsushima.
if it's a side story from a bridge to
But
a next
then-
game.
I'll call it. I don't know. We've still got a lot to find out.
Yeah.
Um, also, Hitman's first DLC lands in 3 days, which it's a part of a 7-part DLC, which is interesting. Which is called Greed.
Greed.
Launches March 30th.
Very interesting. I need to get back into Hitman.
I'm still on the first level.
I need to get back into the Hitmans and play them.
Have you got the third one?
No, I haven't got the third one. I want to though, but I got 1 and 2.
That's so
But
good.
I want to get the third, so then I can like replay the old levels in the new engine.
In the new engine, yeah, that looks so good.
But I'm like, do I want to play on my old Xbox or do I want to go to like a new Xbox and play it on that?
PC.
So, but it's all on my Xbox, all the games. So the first 2.
Get Series X.
So that's what I might.
You could have for me. They're in stock for an hour.
Yeah, that went pretty quick actually. Was that this week?
Tuesday.
So yes, actually that's something we could have covered. That's something to cover as well. So this week as well, yes, we got stock in Australia back in for the Series X
And S.
and S, and they sold out pretty quickly. Well, no, the X
is
sold
still
out.
there, I think.
Yeah, no one wants the S. That's why. I mean, if the S was a hell of a lot cheaper, I might look at getting one maybe for Jack because he's really getting into playing the Xbox.
It's for Game Pass and just use Game Pass on there.
That's why I'm like almost tempted to like get something like that just for in the interim.
Even then,
but
you only capped it 1080p, sometimes 900p.
it's the price. Like if I'm going to spend the money, I'd rather get a Series X because it's only extra like $200 or something like that. It's like, why not? It's an extra $200. Like I'm getting a hell of a lot more out of the machine.
You can use the old catalog. You can.
That's exactly it. So, unless I intend to have the money and have myself a Series X, then maybe get Jack a Series S because he only plays a very small amount of games, Fortnite and a few other things to watch apps and stuff like. He can watch things on it, but that's not till down the track. He's still pretty young. He's got a tablet to watch things on at night, so he's not needed yet. So he could even use my old system for now still, but until that kapoops itself, and then that just goes to the shelf.
Series X's might be back again soon, I guess.
I imagine they will.
Every couple of months, so.
Yeah, I reckon they're getting to the point now that, by the sounds of it, they're going to be more regularly stocked. That's where we're getting to now.
Yeah, but
everything's more regular. It's going to be that way, and so many people want them.
I bought it in the first 2 minutes, and it was sold out just after that.
It's not a bad thing, but it's the way that we're living in now that nearly everyone is a gamer. That's where we're living at now. Like back in the day, exactly, it's made everyone a gamer. So if we were living back in the sense of when we were younger, I mean, the way it would have been, we would have still been able to get our hands on it. It would have been like, you know, you'd still be able to casually get them even if this situation happened.
Yeah,
because
the PS4 that long.
What's up, dude?
Thing. Like those were in stores pretty damn quick.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the Wii that was sold out.
Yeah, that was funny.
The Wii was gone for months.
Oh yeah,
like a whole year really. Like couldn't even get one. And the Switch was sold out for like 6 months or so. Like, and now it's these consoles because people scalpers.
Yep, exactly.
I hope they're learning. They're not selling much of them, so.
No, scalpers try to get into a lot of things, and they just ruin it for everyone. Again, like sports.
You can't get any.
Yep. All the ones I've had bookmarked are just like out of the window still that I've had bookmarked.
They bought all phones, fucking graphics cards. They bought
anything tech, exactly. Like why? I don't know why, but I want to.
Who buys this stuff though? Like they obviously buying it because someone's buying it. Like.
There's the grapevine that apparently people are talking about buying it. So I guess for us in Australia, it's people buying it here, and then because you can't get it overseas, and then they're selling it overseas primarily.
And what I've noticed is, I don't know. It's just stop scalping. You're a horrible human being.
Yep.
You're scum. Pretty much like taking it from someone who will really enjoy it, and you're taking it and keeping it for months. in your warehouse or your bathroom, where they put it. Yeah, basement, your attic. I just hope they sit there and collect dust. Hey, it's winning for Sony and Microsoft. Like they're laughing at all the sales.
Oh, that's exactly. They're making money either way, but you know.
I'm waiting for another PS5 restock. That's going to take a while. It's always been Xbox is coming out. It's like,
it's one of those things. It's just what it is.
maybe
I'll wait and
story.
see if they get anything when the financial year comes around. I know that's much what everyone's waiting for, most probably.
That's the fucking... Sony said something about sharing when we could use memory. They haven't said anything. Apparently in the summer, which... Is it summer in America?
Spring?
Is it summer? No, 'cause it's just... No, it is summer.
Spring.
So sometime in the next, like, 2 or 3 months, they should...
Yeah, because it's spring. It's the end of spring for them. Or start of spring, mid-spring.
Spring?
It's spring...
Why do I think it went winter, summer?
Because we were in winter. So it's summer, autumn, winter, spring. Spring and the summer.
Spring for us.
No, it's winter.
For us. No, it's autumn for another month.
Summer. Oh yeah, summer, autumn. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's autumn.
And then winter. Yeah, we're not even in winter yet.
Next month? In the next month or
mid-year.
I don't know. I don't know my seasons. I just know them. I don't
Summer,
know
autumn, winter, spring is all I know. But yeah, spring.
Summer.
I know
December's...
I know it's basically spring. I think. Yeah.
It's weird. Plus the days change. So it's hard to keep up.
Time zones, season zones, whatever you call it, zones.
Season.
Friend zones.
Season. So like one half Australian summer, other half winter. I wouldn't put it actually.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't pass it. Put it past it.
You've got Melbourne summer, Queensland winter, and shit. Like it's always opposite. I mean, Queensland's always summer. Or autumn. Who knows? But I got one more thing. Oh, no, I don't. That's the last thing.
You gone through it all? Okay,
I'm
so
done, yeah.
Scroll on to the biggest things. We'll leave the BAFTA awards announcements to a little bit last. So we've got there's a whole bunch that Xbox had announced through their id event as well. There's apparently a stack ton of games that are coming to console. So there was little things like Lawnmower Simulator, and then we've got Rust coming to console, and a few other games coming to console. There's a whole bunch I'm not going into because there's shit tons of games that are apparently coming to console that are like indie games, I guess.
Also, God knows when that is.
Exactly, because they're all slated for this year, next year, and following years. So it's just stuff that they're announcing that are coming through. But we've got a list here that they've at least got for Game Pass announcements. There's a stack of games that are coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty interesting here. So we've got, I haven't really looked into them, I just grabbed the names, so at least we know what we've got coming to look forward to for some more free games. We've got Art of the Rally, Astria Ascending, Backbone, Boyfriend Dungeon, Craftopia, Dead Static Drive, Edge of Eternity, Hello Neighbor 2, Library of Ruiner, Little Witch in the Woods, Moonglow Bay Recompile, Narita Boy, Nobody Saves the World, Omno, Rick Sable, Second Extinction, She Dreams Elsewhere, Stalker 2.
One good game.
Which one's that?
Second Extinction.
Stalker 2, man.
What's that?
Stalker was actually a very big franchise game.
Oh, yes. Well, I think it said Soccer 2. I'm like, what?
No, Stalker 2, man. It's been a long time coming for that. So that was the biggest one.
Yeah, it's coming to everything, though. Eventually.
Yeah, and it's coming to Game Pass, so... Again...
PC boy!
Yeah, and that's exactly... A lot of these that are on here aren't just console Game Pass. These are also PC Game Pass. And also cloud gaming as well. So...
We can't do it anyway, so.
We've got The Ascent, Undungeon, Way of the Woods, and Wild at Heart. So these are the games that are all coming to Game Pass.
Three games.
So there's a whole stack of games there, but there's... The biggest one for most people are Hello Neighbor 2, because a lot of people follow that. Second Extinction and Stalker 2 are the next biggest, or primarily biggest.
I got bored of that after like 2 games.
It's because it's got it's a big franchise to it, and a lot of people love those games. So that's why it's kind of, I guess, one of the bigger ones. Like, not for us, but in general, it will be
Yeah.
big for people because that's one of the biggest games. For, like, I mean, I've bought Second Extinction, but I know I'm going to play it more. I reckon I'll play it more on PC now because I've got the PC. You've got it on PC, and we know the other people that we play it on will
Gents.
only play it on PC. They don't have consoles, so.
You know, we got Jones when he's back finally, like when he's back officially gaming.
And then Stalker 2, which has always been a PC game preferably, and that's going to be coming to console, which is going to be interesting. So that's a big one there. So I'm like, ooh.
I kind of want to buy Stalker and play that.
I played the first Stalkers briefly, but I haven't played them in a long time. I guess they were kind of the sense of like Metro in the way. That's what I always remember from them, that they were kind of like Metro after playing that.
Post-apocalyptic.
Russia, Chernobyl, set in Chernobyl kind of game.
Oh, so it's a first-person shooter, just set in Chernobyl.
It's been a while since I played it, but I've got them on PC somewhere behind me on disc.
It's Chernobyl. I think it's Chernobyl, isn't it?
Chernobyl.
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 CH. Chernobyl.
Germanophobia. So that was and that's the stack online. If anyone wants to find it, you can look it up. You just go to check out it at Xbox, and you'll be able to find the whole stack of games. Like, there was a shit ton of games, but like just that alone coming to Game Pass, like 20 titles coming to Game Pass, is just ridiculous.
Yeah, but some of them are next year, the year after, so.
So it's still going to be rolling out. Not all at one hit, no, not all at one hit, because games are going to have their dates of when they're going to come out, when they come to things. So
especially Stalker, that's probably next year, I think.
yeah.
Or did it say this year on the trailer?
I think it might have been this year actually, because it's been a long time coming. So
yeah, they announced it last year, so I'm assuming it's late this year or mid this year.
Smell.
Which, if you haven't already, check out the Back for Blood gameplay. It's so good. Which was with the Future Game Show.
It smells like sewage water. It smells like sewage water.
That's weird.
That's not good.
It's not a tumor.
Not a tumor. But we're left for last here before we go on to the new thing we're going to implement to the episode. Well, not, like I said, not necessarily to the episode, but we just want to try something new. And maybe something, but before we get into that, the BAFTA Games Awards 2021 had happened last couple of days ago, I think it was.
I retweeted on Beardy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that's...
I tweeted something about it.
Something about it. There's always different tweets. So that happened. We've got the announcements here of what awards were given out. We might start these in backwards and go backwards through the list.
From the best to worst.
Well, I don't want to leave the best to the last. Well, I was just going to go generally in backwards. So, well... No, it doesn't really matter. We'll just start from the list how I've got it written out. So, best game was Hades got best game for that one. Sackboy and A Big Adventure got British game award.
Game.
I guess because BAFTA is the British awards. British award, film, television, or something.
Which makes sense because that's a family game, so.
So they won British Game Award. Last of Us Part 2 got Animation Award. Artistic Achievement was won by Hades. Ghost of Tsushima won Audio Achievement. I guess for best overall sound.
Last of Us had very good fucking audio.
So yeah, it's interesting. What was it? We had debut game was won by Carrion.
Ooh, getting some recognition.
Yeah, it's actually gaining a fair bit of recognition, surprisingly.
Because I smashed it in like 2 days.
I got stuck somewhere. I kept running around. I couldn't seem to progress. And I kept smacking everything. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I got so far into it.
Yeah, that does happen. I think I had the Google one spot.
Yeah. Evolving game was won by Sea of Thieves, which is interesting because that's been around for a long time. And that has been ever evolving. So it makes sense for them to get out of most games to see the progression change. Family Game Award was...
It's not really rare stick to it, like, they didn't just give up.
No, that's exactly it. They keep working on it, and they keep expanding it and doing more and more and more, and acknowledging the community and doing more and more and more. And I mean, the game's become very community driven now. I've seen, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
the way some of the community's been. It's just been
Both
pretty
games
crazy.
have to be.
Hmm.
Like you can't just not listen to the community. Like if there's a problem, acknowledge it, fix it, and move on. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly it.
looking at you, Bethesda.
Um, well, actually, a bit of traction I noticed lately. Fallout 76 has picked up a bit more traction again,
Yeah, because it's now good
and
after
a lot of people
2
playing it
years,
and streaming it again, which is very interesting. So, um,
2 or 3 years it's been out. Now it's
mm,
finally good though. Like
bit of a surprise.
it's
Family
just Fallout
game,
4 online.
yeah, basically. Family game was a Sackboy, A Big Adventure.
Hey, what a guess!
Game Beyond Entertainment was Animal Crossing New Horizons. Game design was Hades. Multiplayer game was Animal Crossing New Horizons. Music, Spider-Man Miles Morales won Music Award. Uh,
Oh, makes sense.
Best Narrative was won by Hades. What is that? That's getting stronger.
Maybe got a burst sewage pipe.
Oh, something must have. I'm gonna have to check this quickly in a sec. Original property. Original.
Maybe someone.
Oh, it smells like something's leaking out. It's stinky. Like it smells like sewage water.
Oh,
That really stinks. It's getting worse. It's getting worse and worse each. More I'm sitting here.
I can't carry the potty by myself.
Oh no!
No.
I'll quickly finish this up, and I gotta quickly check. I gotta make sure that one's not happening.
Yeah.
Original property was Kentucky Route Zero TV edition.
Kentucky
Performer
Route
in
Zero.
leading role was won by Laura Bailey as Abby for The Last of Us Part 2.
Good choice that is.
Performer in supporting role was won by Logan Cunningham as Hades, Achilles, Poseidon, Astrius, Karen. Is it Karen? And the storyteller in Hades.
It looks so good.
And the EE Game of the Year, voted by the public, was The Last of Us Part 2.
What's the EE? What?
Let me a sec, I'll be back. But yeah, so that's that. I don't know if you want to ramble on for a sec before we continue on, but I need to just figure out what's going on. This is kind of tripping me out. I don't like this.
I want to know what the frick the EE award is. Like, last was on the EE award. Actually, let me Google it. Let me Google it. Let me move that over to the other side, just so we can. Oh, that's way big. Like, don't show up. Don't know. Okay. I want to Google what the EE award is. BAFTA EE Rising Star 2021. I'm so confused. EE award. BAFTA EE award. Meaning? Question mark? The British Academy of Film and Television Arts Rising Star Award, currently sold as EE. I don't know how The Last of Us gets a Rising Star. I really don't. God dang it. What have you done to me, Des? You left me here by myself. Okay, so Hades got that. Okay, so best game Hades, British game Sackboy, animation Last of Us, artistic achievement Hades, audio achievement Ghost of Tsushima, debut game Carrion, evolving Sea of Thieves, family Sackboy, game Beyond Entertainment, game design,
No idea.
multiplayer music, narrative, origin property, EE voted by the public. Last of Us 2.
It was EE.
The EE Game of the Year voted by the public. See? And they say the public didn't like it.
Yeah. So they
The
voted for
public
it.
voted for it to win. Stuck on that, haters. Stuck on that. Get new directors loading.
Yeah, that was weird. Sorry about that. That's very. It's just weird smell. It's nowhere in the rest of the house. It's only coming from outside, so I don't know what's outside, but it smells like putrid poo water. So.
Poo water.
And it's wafting in under the door.
I just said what you already said with the awards, trying to find that.
Yeah, trying to find what it was. That's all good. So sorry about that, guys. So we just had a weird moment there.
Because all you said was the EE one. I'm like, what is an EE?
Yeah, I don't know what EE was. So I was like, okay.
I got it from a thing that just listed everything.
Yep, yep.
It was Game of the Year voted by the public. So I'm like, Last of Us, public.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I had in the thing, voted by the public. So
I'm still saying, I was on Twitter this afternoon, and I saw Last of Us bashes again. They're like, oh, Sony rigged this. I'm like, it's voted by the public. The public voted. Not the official, like, judges or anything. The public. You can't please everyone. You're so blurry. You look constipated. Feel your blurry pixeliness.
oh god, I'm very wacky on your end.
Yeah. Well, that's on my end. So whatever happened to your net or my net.
We're all
might
crystal clear on mine. Yeah, clear on mine.
On mine, you're so weird.
I did have a moment though where you had frozen at one point, and then the feed had to catch up.
That's Discord. It's fucking. I don't want to pay for Discord yet, like to get the 1080p crystal clear. Because I don't know how much, like $5, but still.
Microsoft buys it. Nitro Plus, 1080p or 4K. Don't give me ideas.
I wouldn't mind getting a DSLR for these though. Be dope. Get a camera mounted about up there, just have it coming down. Or up there, coming down.
Yeah, have cameras. But anyway, that's supposed to be most of the news we got for, well, I guess news topics. Well,
you fucked again.
I mean, we'll start definitely getting back into topics eventually. We gotta go over our topics like
to the camera again. Like,
I mean, we talked about the big topic we were gonna do ages ago, and we haven't even come around to it yet. I was like, oh no, we'll do it in the next. We'll do it next.
We can now because
not much
you
going on.
did say it.
So
it depends if it gets cut out of the audio or not. We're not sure.
Well, what is that there? No, I was talking about the other one, the other topic we had, where we're going to talk about our movies and stuff like that. If we were to make a movie and stuff, we still haven't even done an episode on that yet.
We haven't even
thought about it. We haven't even set aside. We haven't even like. I feel like I haven't had the time to really sit down and think, what would I want in a movie? Like, I've had little ideas here and there, but it's just like I haven't had time to really sit down.
You've got to remember to write it down on the thing to actually get it.
Get an idea of like who do we want in.
This year.
It'll be something we'll do eventually, because it's going to be a cool, fun little topic to have.
We might even get Bobby Wookie on it, Juddy on it. Like,
could you imagine a Wookie's movie? It might take the podcast about 6 hours for him to explain it. He might have the whole movie proposition right there ready to go if we were to give it that. He would tell the whole movie out, word, scene by scene, action by action. I feel like almost. We'd have the whole script ready to go. He would just speak it all out. There'll be Ricky Gervais. We know Ricky Gervais will be in there. It would have to be a good character in there.
I mean, we'd probably get it with Subby, Wookie, like get everybody in there and just like have their own movie pictures.
Be crazy.
That'd
be a big podcast, though.
Not really.
So many movies would be.
2.5, plenty of time. Like, it's not going to take you half an hour to reel off a fucking movie list and shit. Like, jeez.
Oh, so like what kind of movie? Well, I mean, it was like the whole concept was to proposition a movie to a sense. Like, how would we proposition? Who would we have in it? What kind of film would it be? What would be the base premise?
That's the hard part. Like, you got to think of all that.
Like a romance movie where a zombie meets an alien and they fall in love, and then they meet actor Bill Murray that saves them and sends them off to a planet, and then Bill Murray dies by flying into the sun. And
in State of Survival, a chick married a zombie when I was playing today. I was like, I actually read it on stream. I was like, are they marrying this undead girl?
Okay.
I read that out loud.
Okay.
It says something about putting the gag back in its mouth. I'm like,
oh, okay then. Well,
what's she got the zombie for?
Well, that's different. Yeah. Okay. gagging
That's
up the
so
zombie.
weird.
Is it so she can be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, or
I
she's doing the
mean-
zombie and then his dick falls off because it's just all friggin'... I'm going there. It's friggin' Rick and Mortis, man. Rick and Morty. Rick and Mortis. Morty! I turned myself into a Morty! I'm turning myself into a Morty! I'm a zombie Morty! I'm Rick Morty Zombie! God, where? Oh,
I'm so done.
Rick and Mortis. I turned myself into a stiff Morty! I'm a stiff Rick!
Oh my god.
Oh god, Rick and Mortis, the new phrase of the day, Rick and Mortis.
Rick and Mortis. It sounds like a fucking spin-off, doesn't it? Rick and Mortis.
Zombie Rick.
I'm Zombie Rick!
The Adventures of Zombie Rick and Zombie Morty.
Zordy.
Zordy.
Zick and Zordy.
Zick. Zick and... Zick and Zordy, the alien versions of Rick and Morty. Oh
Ooh.
god. Different universe, they're aliens.
Justin Roiland, if you're listening.
Oh. Imagine having him on the
Really?
podcast.
We got Twitter.
We could see if he wants to join the podcast, if he's down for an episode.
And then you can say Rick and Mortis, and you probably get to an undead version.
Undead Rick and Mortis.
Rick and Mortis. Fuck.
Oh, God. So, we're basically at the end of the episode now. But we're going to do something a little bit different, I guess, to do that, and then that can be the ending, I guess, maybe? Or do we want to wrap it up and have it as, like, the bonus? Have it as the bonus thing after the
Do you
episode?
want to have it end and then just end it after that? Or do you want to have it as a separate upload?
Well, we can do it as this. I can just do it as maybe the bonus. Oh, I don't know. Like,
I mean, we could end it and then do it.
just try it
Yes.
separately, do it as separate content.
Yeah, because then it'd be unnatural to have this and then a reaction, then
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. So basically, we'll mention it now. We'll do a separate video. So this is the podcast now wrapping up. I'll leave Jim to do his outro as always, but we're gonna have a video on this, but we'll have that as a separate upload. You'll see it up on the page if you don't see this. You haven't seen it, but you'll see it there anyway. We're going to do a reaction to the new Suicide Squad trailer.
Which is called The Suicide Squad, which is...
It's basically a sequel, but kind of it's in a weird spot because
Well, it's a sequel because Margot Robbie is...
it's kind of continuing on what happened previously.
In fact, is Boomerang and stuff, so it's definitely a sequel.
Not a reboot, kind of same character reboot. It'd be weird.
Just like there's no Deadshot. Like Will Smith, are you too good for Zack Snyder? No, James Gunn. Fuck.
It's just Zack Snyder.
Are you
God.
too cool for James Gunn? He made Guardians.
Yeah, because this video is already at like an hour and 18 minutes basically. So
Yeah, by the time we have that,
who knows how long
I mean,
that could
it
take?
wouldn't
So
be long, but like,
it's something different we want to try, and if you think that's pretty cool, let us know. We'll be sharing that around on the socials. I think it's best to keep that out of the audio, that this is just the audio podcast, so people can listen to it, and they're trying to... I want to do my funky things, but definitely let us know as well if you're enjoying the funky little things we've been doing lately, or I've been doing lately on the podcast. Because it's been fun, like, editing things in and stuff, but, you know, just want to know if you're actually liking it, so... So let us know on the socials, whether it's the Instagram or the Twitter as always, you know, Beardy Bros. You know where to find us, search it up. You know, there's always stuff there, just let us know and comment on our stuff, you know. Tweet at us, you know, message us on Instagram, whatever. Give us some inputs if you feel like any inputs. You know, one of those things. So
appreciated. I mean, we got some input recently. I mean, not input, but we got some positive feedback.
Well, we know we're getting out there a little bit. We got people mentioning us, and other people are listening to us now. It's good that we're growing out of there.
Out of there.
So yeah, we're spreading around a little bit the Beardy disease. So
The Beardy disease. That sounds so wrong.
the Beardy disease,
The beezies.
the bee's knees.
The beezies.
We're the bee's knees.
We're the beezies. Dang it. I need beer for this. I need alcohol for
I know.
this.
Oh, he's drinking alcohol now. For this. I had 2 beers left. I saved them for the podcast. I was gonna drink a beer last night, but then I would have had less beer. I was like, nah, I'm saving them for the podcast. I actually have one beer left technically in the fridge. I had two, actually a cider and a beer. So I had a cider and a beer and a good beer left. But I
said
said
that's so weird. I had cider and a beer left.
I had a cider and a beer, the cider and a beer, the beer and the cider and the boots and caps and boots and
I
caps
had
and
cider and a
boots
beer
and
left.
caps.
It's like a weird
But-
accent.
Yeah, but we'll leave. I'll leave it up to Jim, do his outro, and then we'll continue on to our next content.
Yeah, you've heard Des. Thanks for joining us on episode 13. It's hard to believe we've hit that already. Like 13 weeks of the year already. Like Jesus. As you get blinded by Daz, we have been Dale and Jim, and we'll thank you guys for listening, for watching. Thanks for supporting. Smash a like on the video on the YouTubes. And as always, we've been Dale and Jim. We'll catch you guys next week. Bye. Damn, Daniel. Damn, Dale.
Nah, Daniel. Back at it again with the white vans.
What?
The white vans.
You're gonna go whack.
Whoosh. Bye-bye!